Skarloey waited. He hoped no one would see he wasn't helping. At last, Rheneas and Peter Sam came down the hill. Their wagons were full of sheep. Skarloey watched the farmers unload the sheep. Then, Peter, Sam, and Rheneas puffed back up the hill into the storm. They were being very brave. Skarloey felt bad. He wanted to help, but he was too scared. Peter, Sam, and Rheneas worked very hard. They puffed up and down the hill, bringing sheep safely to the farmers. Then there was trouble. Peter, Sam, and Rheneas had puffed up and down so many times, they both ran out of coal.
There are still more sheep up on the hill,
wheezed Rheneas sadly. What are we going to do? Chuffed Peter Sam. Skarloey looked at his two friends. They were very tired and very sad. Then he looked at the farmers. They were worried about the sheep.
If a big engine like me is frightened of thunder, the little sheep must be very scared,
Skarloey chuffed to himself.
I wanted to help the sheep. I wanted to help the farmers. And I wanted to help my friends. But I haven't helped any of them. I've let them all down.
He felt terrible. Skarloey puffed slowly out of his hiding place. Rheneas and Peter Sam were pleased to see him. Did you collect lots of sheep? Peter Sam asked.
We didn't see you, puffed Rheneas.
Skarloey sadly told them what had happened.
I was too scared of the thunder and lightning to go up the hill with you, he wheezed. So I hid and I watched you working. Because of me, there were still sheep on the hill. So now I'm going up to collect them, he chuffed.
There was another flash of lightning and a roar of thunder. But Skarloey didn't notice. He pumped his pistons and puffed off bravely up the hill. The lightning flashed around Skarloey, and the thunder roared. But Skarloey wasn't scared. All he thought about was collecting the sheep and bringing them safely down the hill. Skarloey arrived at the top of the hill. The farmer was waiting. He was very pleased to see Skarloey. The sheep were quickly loaded into the cars, and Skarloey set off down the hill. It was very hard work, but Skarloey didn't give up. He chuffed up and down the hill until he had collected all the sheep. Skarloey felt very happy. I'm braver than I thought, he wheezed, and he puffed proudly down the hill for the last time. Rheneas and Peter Sam were waiting for Skarloey at the bottom of the hill. Well done, they tooted. They were very happy to see him and proud of their friend. 3 cheers for Skarloey, the farmers cheered. Skarloey smiled.
I didn't think I could do it, but I could.
The lightning still flashed and the thunder still roared. But Skarloey was the happiest engine on Sodor. Here are lots of dots. Join the dots together and you'll see one of Sotopham Hatt's engines. Can you guess which one it is? Here we go. There's the tall funnel and the dome. Around the cab and the engine's coal tender. There are lots of wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs. This engine is almost the same shape as Edward, but it's a different color. Red. It must be James. Hello, James.
High up in the Sodor Hills, among the lakes and trees, there are some very special friends Thomas likes to see. They are the narrow gauge engines running on a narrow gauge track. Friends like Rusty, Duncan, Fearless, Freddy, Mighty Mac. They've got their own controller, Mr. Percival is his name. And though they're small, they're strong and really useful just the same. They're Sodor's best kept secret, who people hardly know. Because they're small, they take the loads where bigger trains can't go. They work with James and Thomas at the transfer yard. And though they're cute and friendly, these engines work so hard. They are the narrow gauge engines running on narrow gauge track. Scarlowy, Peter, Sam, Renee is the handle and the back. They've got their own controller, Mr. Percival is his name. And though they're small, they're strong and really useful just the same. Walkers, campers, fishermen, to all of them they're friends. Puffing proudly up the slopes and rattling round the bends. They are the narrow gauge engines running on narrow gauge track. Friends like Rusty, Duncan, Fearless, Freddy, Mighty Mac. They've got their own controller, Mr. Percival is his name. And though they're small, they're strong and really useful just the same. Though they're small, they're strong and really useful just the same.
The island of Sodor is a wonderful place. There are lots and lots of engines. Who's that puffing along the track? It's Gordon. Gordon is a great grand engine. He is blue and has the number 4 painted on his tender. Gordon is one of the strongest engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. His special job is pulling the express. Strongest and best, cleanest and fastest, and pulls the express. Gordon wants all the other engines to hear. But one day, Gordon heard something that he hoped none of the other engines could hear. His engine was squeaking. Gordon didn't feel like the most important engine on Sodor anymore. Diesel teased him at the docks. He said Gordon would be sent to the scrapyard. Gordon believed him. Gordon had a special. He had to take children to the docks to catch their boat. Gordon found out that the slower he went, the less he squeaked. So Gordon went slower and slower. Sir Topham Hatt was on board. He wanted to know why the fastest engine on the railway was going so slowly. This made Gordon very unhappy. So Gordon decided it didn't matter if he was going to be scrapped. He would make his last journey the fastest he had ever puffed. Gordon's pistons pumped, and his boiler bubbled. He squeaked, rattled, and rolled into the docks. But Gordon didn't mind. The children were on time for their boat. And Sir Topham Hatt didn't scrap Gordon. He sent them to the repair yard. Gordon knew he was an important engine. And Gordon likes to feel important. One day, Sir Topham Hatt told Gordon that if he pulled the express across the island and back again on time, he would set a new record. Gordon was excited. At the coal depot, his tender was loaded with coal. Gordon was ready to wheesh away. Then the yard manager gasped. Gordon had been given Henry's coal by mistake. Gordon knew Henry needed special coal, but he thought it would make him go faster, so Gordon pretended not to hear. He raced away. Gordon was very happy. But Henry wasn't happy at all. There was no more special coal at the depot. Gordon saw how sick Henry was. Gordon didn't feel important anymore. And he didn't feel happy. He felt bad. He cared about helping his friend. And if an engine is in trouble, Gordon will be there to help. That's why it feels good to be Gordon. Today, Mavis is wondering what she would look like if she had a face like her friend Emily. Mavis has a square face, but Emily has a round face. Mavis is going to pretend that she has a round face too. Now Mavis wonders what she would look like if she was painted the same color as Emily. Mavis is black, but Emily is green. Mavis is going to pretend that she is green too. Now Mavis wonders what it would be like to be a steam engine. Now Mavis has a funnel and steam, just like her friend Emily. Mavis thinks looking like Emily is fun, but she likes being Mavis best. Duncan does it all. Duncan is a very lively engine. He likes to do important jobs, and he always likes to be busy. One afternoon, Duncan arrived at the wharf. He had to collect freight cars of straw. More loads of straw, he wished. Duncan was fed up. What's the matter? Tooted Thomas. I've been doing the same job all day long, grumbled Duncan. Collecting silly straw and taking it up to the farms in the hills. I want to do something more exciting. Just then, Rusty puffed in with freight cars of slate. He looked tired. Hello, he wished warily. I have so many jobs to do today. I'm all puffed out. What sort of jobs? Asked Duncan. Well, next I have to pick up some sightseers and show them the ruined castle, chuffed Rusty. That sounds more exciting than delivering straw, Duncan tooted. I'll take your passengers for you. All right, Rusty whistled, but only if you have time and can do a good job. I have plenty of time, snorted Duncan. This is an exciting job. Duncan left his freight cars of straw and he puffed off to pick up the passengers. Duncan had collected Rusty's passengers, and soon he was chuffing cheerfully through the beautiful countryside. Look at the sights! Look at the sights! His wheels clickety-clacked along the tracks. Duncan was enjoying his new job. The sightseers were very happy to see all the wonderful sights. This is much more exciting than delivering straw, Duncan wished happily. On the way across the lake, the sightseers got out to take some photographs. Duncan had to wait for them. He wished he had something to do to pass the time. Just then, Skarloey puffed up. He was pulling freight cars of logs from the sawmill.
Flatten my funnel, he whooshed. These cars are heavy. I hope I'm not too late for my next job.
What is your next job? Duncan asked his friend.
I have to collect sheep from the farm, puffed Skarloey, and take them to market.
That sounds more exciting than waiting here, Duncan tooted. I'll take the sheep to market for you.